Hello children, you all can hear me? Am I audible? Am I audible to everyone? So hello you lovely children, how are you? Welcome back to another super cool, super amazing biology live session on super wonderful platform of Avanti. Today I am going to take you through the most interesting topics, right, which help you in seeing and which help you in hearing. And what is that? Yes, that is your eyes and ears. Yes, so we are going to learn about eyes and ears today. Yesterday we had started with the topic, right? Eyes. Yesterday we had started off with this topic, eyes, right? Yes, Anjana, I am good. I am awesome. I just wish that you could see me, but it's not working today. Yeah. All right. Maybe I require Veer to fix this problem now. Yes. So neural control and coordination. Up to now, we have discussed about central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, right? How your central nervous system works, how peripheral nervous system works, what all structures are present, right? Brain and spinal cord. Yes, you can start answering. Okay, since I can't see you, I can see you actually, right? Yes, you can't see me, but I can see you. Yeah. Yes. So in CNS, you can keep replying. In CNS, we have what? So that I feel that you are here. Brain and spinal cord. Yes, Ankita, I can see you message. Then PNS, what do you have? Peripheral nervous system. The nerves which come out from your brain and spinal cord. Which nerves come out from your brain and spinal cord? It is cranial nerves, spinal nerves. We got to know an awesome trick to remember it, right? Yes, on occasion, our trusty truck acts funny, very good vehicle anyhow. Or uta fagua. Yes. Then function of all the nerves we learned. Yes. And then we had to learn what? Sense organs. Eye. Yes. Give me a sec. All right. So in sense organs, what we have to discuss? Eyes and ear. Right? Eyes and ear. Yes, Shreya, you should message here only. I can see your message. So eyes. Yesterday, what all things we had learned in eyes? Think. We had learned about external structure. We had learned the morphology of the eye. Right? Yes. Morphology of the eye. Yes. So what did we learn in morphology? How many layers of the eye? Start answering fast. How many layers of the eye? Option A, 2. Option B, 3. Option C, none of these. How many layers of the eye? Yes, 3 layers. Yeah? Yes, yes. So, one thing we can do is, you can turn your videos on so that I can see you all. Yeah, that can be done. You can turn your videos on. Yes? All right. Okay. Yes, so we have 3 layers in the eye. What are they? Name them. Sclera, choroid, retina. We learned it, right? Sclera, choroid, and retina. Sclera is the outermost, choroid is the middle one, and retina is the innermost, right? Sclera is the outermost, choroid is the middle one, which has blood vessels, and retina is the innermost. Now coming to next questions. Start answering fast, quick. Sclera. You know the question, right? Yes. The anterior part of sclera becomes transparent. And what is it? Answer it fast. What is it? Yes. Awesome. It is what? Cornea. Perfect. Now coming to the next question. Choroid. Anterior part of choroid. Tell me. What do you get in the anterior part of choroid? What do you get? Ciliary muscles. Perfect. Now, you have answered this. You answered this also. What is the function of ciliary muscles? What is the function of ciliary muscle? What does it do? It has some ligament. Which ligament? Which helps in holding the lens. Which ligament? Awesome. It is what? Suspensory ligament. Right? Yes, it is suspensory ligament. Cool? Helps in holding the lens. Now coming to the innermost layer, retina. Third. So retina has what? Sensitive part, right? If this is your inner layer, retina, it has sensitive part. Why do I say it has sensitive part? It has which type of cells? Rods and cones, photoreceptor cells, right? It will sense, it will perceive the light. After this, what do you have? Bipolar cells. And after that, what do you have? Ganglionic cells, right? And after that, what do you have? Optic nerve. Yes, right? So this is your sensitive part, right? This part is your sensitive part. Now tell me, it is complete eyeball, right? Complete eyeball, no? Yes? So from here you have the sensitive part, right? Rods, cone, bipolar, ganglionic cells. Even this is the inner part, right, of retina. This is the inner part of the retina. Do they have rod cells and cone cells? Do they have bipolar cells? Do they have ganglionic cells? Yes or no? This side? Yes or no? No. So how do we differentiate this? We say that here there is a region which separates the sensory and non-sensory part of retina, which is called as ora serrata, which is called as ora serrata. Okay, ora serrata. All right. So complete part of the retina is not sensory. The complete part of retina will not have rod, cones, and then bipolar ganglionic, right? Only the posterior part will have that. Anterior part does not have it. So what is that which differentiate the sensory part? This is the sensory part. And this is non-sensory part. What is that which separate these two? Ora serrata. Okay, what is it? Ora serrata. All right. Now coming to the image of the eye. Now we can learn. See, you have learnt it already. This part is your what? Cornea. This is your cornea, right? This is your lens. Yes. This is suspensory ligament, right? And this is ciliary muscles. Okay. The color of the eye. This is your iris. At the center, you can see what is it? Pupil, right? Can you see that light is passing through the pupil and going to the retina? Can you see that? Is it visible to you? See it. Can you see this blue color, light blue color going towards the retina? Yes. So it passes through the pupil. Okay. Passes through the pupil and then crosses the lens. Right. Something like this will happen. Light is falling. Apply some physics here. It will spread. It will diverge. But you see, it is which kind of lens? It is which kind of lens? Convex or concave? Convex. Can you see this? Convex, right? So convex lens are called as converging lens. Convex lens are called as what? Converging lens. Why? Because of the function. And what is the function? It will converge the light. It will converge the light. So light is coming from all the direction to the pupil, right? Pupil is directing it to the lens and lens is converging. So it will focus, it will converge the light rays on the retina, right? Got it? Why do we have convex lens? Because it is converging lens. It converges the light to a point so that we can see the image. Got it? Yes? Now coming to choroid. This second layer is what? Choroid layer. Anterior part is your ciliary muscles. Right? It has lot of blood vessels connection. That is why it looks bluish color. Right? Yes. And then innermost is your retina. Innermost is your retina. You can see here somewhere ora serrata. Can you see ora serrata? I was talking about this only. So this is your ora serrata. This region of the retina. This region of the retina which does not have Rods cones. There is no use of Rods cones here, right? Rods cones, light fall here. So you require Rods cones over here. Yes, the part of the retina which does not have Rods cones, or you can say it is separating the non-sensory part. This is your non-sensory part of retina and this is the sensory part of retina. Why I am saying it is sensory part of retina? Because here you get rod cones, bipolar and ganglionic cells. All right? Yes? All right. Cool. Yes. So now coming to this part of retina, there is the yellow color part over here. I don't know how much clear this image is to you. There is a yellow color part over here, which is called as macula lutea. Macula lutea. Yes, Sahana, I can get your messages. Macula lutea. In the macula lutea, there is a depression. There is a depression, which is called as fovea centralis. Centralis because it is present at the center of macula lutea. Fovea because it is a depression. Okay, fovea because it's a depression. Fovea. Centralis because it is present at the center of macula lutea. Okay. And what is so specific about fovea centralis? What is so special about it? Maximum. What do you get here? Maximum number of cones. Maximum number of cones, right? And that is why, if you know that cones are responsible for, yes, Vijayalakshmi, getting your messages. If you know that cones are responsible for light vision, maximum clarity, maximum resolution, visual acuity, you will get on fovea centralis because cones are present. So during daytime, the maximum resolution of the image will be seen on the fovea centralis part of retina. All of you got it, Harsh? Got it? Yes, high resolution. Now there is one more part on the retina. We saw this part which was having so many cones. Now we have one more part where you don't get any rod cells and cone cells. Where you don't get any rod cells and cone cells. Why? Because from there the nerve comes out. From there the nerve comes out. Since this part does not have any photoreceptor cells, we say it is blind. What do we say? It is blind. It is a spot which is blind. Right? So what is it? It is blind spot. Okay? Blind spot is the region on the retina which does not have any rod cells and cone cells. And through this optic nerve comes out. Right? Yes, through this optic nerve comes out. So I see so many students asking me that, am I able to see your messages or not? You need to message me on the host. Neha host. Okay? Yes. So that is your eye. Any doubt in the structure of eye? Any doubt in the structure of eye? No. If no, then I'm going to ask you a few questions on this. Tell me, what is aqueous chamber and what is vitreous chamber? I did not mention it at all. What is aqueous chamber and vitreous chamber? Tell me. What is aqueous chamber? Fluid. Yes, very good. It is fluid. Yeah. Vitreous chamber, that is also fluid or solid? Gel. Acha. Vitreous chamber is gel. All right. Chamber cannot be fluid, no? Can chamber be fluid? All of you are answering it as gel, fluid. What was my question? What was my question? You got trapped. What was my question? My question was, what is aqueous chamber and what is vitreous chamber? I never asked you what is aqueous humor and what is vitreous humor. Did I? No. So what is aqueous chamber? You see. Can you see this lens here? Yes? Can you see the cornea here? So there is a fluid here. Right? Between lens and cornea, there is a fluid. The fluid is called as aqueous humor, but the chamber is called as aqueous chamber. Okay. The chamber is called as aqueous chamber. Anterior chamber, present in front, right? Which you can see. This is your aqueous chamber between lens and cornea. In the posterior part, what do you get? Between lens and retina. Between lens and retina, the chamber is what? Vitreous chamber. Vitreous chamber. Now coming to fluid. The fluid in the aqueous chamber is called as, aqueous humor, right? And the fluid in the vitreous chamber is called as vitreous humor or vitreous fluid. Got it? Yes? Now, tell me, cerebrospinal fluid we have learned, right? Cerebrospinal fluid, which is synthesized by what? We have learned it. Answer me first. What is that which synthesizes cerebrospinal fluid of the brain? Starts with the letter C. Starts with the letter C and it has two words. One starts with C, another starts with P. Answer it. Yes, Shreya. Yes, awesome. Choroid plexus, right? Your choroid plexus secretes the cerebrospinal fluid. Yes, we have learnt it. Similar to that, can you tell me from where aqueous humor is coming and from where vitreous humor is coming? What is that which is synthesizing this? First question is, from where aqueous humor is coming and from where vitreous humor is coming? Acha, first question, na? From where aqueous humor is coming? From where aqueous humor is coming? From where are you getting the fluid? Any idea? Anyone has any idea about it? From where are you getting it? You want me to tell or you want to answer? Yes, Ankita has answered it. Capillaries of ciliary. Awesome. The ciliary muscles you see over here, right? Which is extension of the choroid layer. And we know that choroid layer has blood vessels, capillaries. So through the capillaries of the ciliary muscles, you get aqueous humor. Similarly, through the ciliary muscles only you get vitreous humor. Okay? You get aqueous humor as well as vitreous humor from the ciliary muscles, capillaries. Got it? All of you got it? Yes? Now next question. You can keep raising your hand, okay? I can see. And you can keep answering, that also I can see. It's just that you can't see me. Yeah. Next question. Tell me, see, cerebrospinal fluid that was flowing everywhere, right? That was getting synthesized every day. Cerebrospinal fluid, it was getting synthesized in the brain every single day. Every single day it was getting synthesized. Now, my question is here. Aqueous humor. Does synthesis of aqueous humor happens always? Does it keep happening? Yes or no? It always keeps happening. The aqueous humor synthesis keeps happening. No, Ankita says no. Vijayalakshmi says yes. Any more answers? Children, where are you? Bhumika says yes. Yeah? Yes, no? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Those who have answered it as yes. So it is yes. Okay. Aqueous humor gets synthesized. You need to have passage. Okay. Because see, your eyes require nutrition or not? Your eyes require nutrition or not? Yes. So cornea requires nutrition. From where will you give nutrition? The aqueous humor will give the nutrition. Whenever the nutrition of aqueous humor gets over, whenever it gets over, then again the nutrient will come from the capillaries of the ciliary muscles. Got it? Yes? Yeah? Now let me ask you second question. What about vitreous humor? Does it get synthesized always? Vitreous humor? This vitreous humor in the posterior chamber, does it get synthesized always? No. I have got answers no. So many no's I have got. Yes. So vitreous humor is something which will be there in you lifelong. Till you are alive, the vitreous humor is going to be present, stagnant. You don't need to synthesize it always. Why? Why? Because here there is nothing like giving nutrition to the layers, right? Because what is the work here? It is a cavity, right? What is it? It's a cavity. It is a cavity. Its work is only to pass the light to a particular area on the retina. It is working only to reflect the light to a particular area of retina. Yes, Ankita, yes. Its work is only to pass the light properly. Its work is only to make it tight. Imagine it as a balloon. When you have to get the shape of the balloon, you have different shape of balloon, right? You have balloon of this shape, right? But you will get this shape only when you blow the air into it. Similarly, the eyeball shape you will get, the sphere-like shape in your eyeball, you will get because of vitreous humor, right? Now, since it is a fluid, it will also maintain the pressure. It will also maintain the pressure. Yes, Vijayalakshmi. So what did we learn? This is something which is not there in NCERT, but it is very interesting, no? We should know about it. Aqueous humor, capillary synthesis will be from capillaries of ciliary muscles. It needs to be replenished. Whenever the nutrients are over, it needs to be replenished. But talking about vitreous humor, it is synthesized by the same process, but it need not be replenished. Need not be replenished, right? There is no need of it. What is the function? To reflect the light, to pass the light on the particular spot of retina. What else? Shape. What else? Maintains the pressure. Got it? Yes? Yeah, so there is someone called as Purvam. Purvam is asking from where tears come. For tears, we have something called as lacrimal gland. Okay? Purvam, from the lacrimal gland, let's say this is your ears. Somewhere here you get a gland called as lacrimal gland. And this gland, whenever you are emotional, your amygdala gets activated, right? Yes, your hippocampus gets activated. Lacrimal gland will start showing the emotions by rolling down the tears. Right? Yes? Cool. So that is aqueous humor, vitreous humor, and the overall structure of the eye. Did you all get it? Yes, children? Did you all learn something new today? Yes? Yeah? Okay. Awesome. So that is your eye. Now see, this is in detail. When we learn the mechanism of vision, what do we need to see now? The mechanism, the process. How do we see? That we need to learn, right? So you know that our retina has 3 layers of cells. How many layers of cells? 3 layers of cells. What are they? You can see it here. What are they? Cones and rods, right? This is the first layer of cells. Yes. Now after rods and cones, what is present? Some horizontal cells are present. Between every layer, between rods and cones and bipolar cells, you will see that there are some connecting cells. Similarly, you see here, between bipolar cells and between ganglionic cells, again there is a connective cell, amacrine cell. Always, it is not mentioned in NCERT, but MCQs when you solve, they would ask you that where do we get amacrine cell? What is the function of amacrine cell? Horizontal cell, generally they don't ask, but amacrine cell, they have asked many a times. Okay? So rods, cones, bipolar cells, ganglionic cells, right? Between rod cones and bipolar cells, you have horizontal cell to transmit the impulses properly. Connection, it helps in connecting. Similarly, from bipolar cells, impulses will reach to ganglionic cells through amacrine cells. Through amacrine cells. Got it? Yes? And after this ganglion cell, you can see the impulses through the optic nerve will be sent to the brain. Which area? Auditory area. So that, oh, what did I do? Big mistake, right? This is eye. Which area? It will go to the visual cortex area of the brain. Yes? Optic area of the brain. Got it? Now it is very easy to understand the mechanism of the eye. Okay. So we will understand it this way. Let's say this is your eye. Yes. Through the pupil, light will be entering. It will pass through. It will pass through the convex lens. Right? It will converge onto the retina. Yes. If your eye was seeing this image, which type of image you will see here? Inverted. You will see which type of image? Inverted, right? Now, through optic nerve, it will be sent to your... So, you have a person standing right here. Through the pupil, light enters into the eye. Through the pupil, light enters into the eye. Through the lens, comes into the vitreous humor, get converged into the retina, onto the retina. Image, what you perceive is inverted, but actually it is sent to optic nerve, and there you now we need to learn proper mechanism we need to learn. What is the proper mechanism? What is the proper mechanism? Light will enter through the pupil. right? First step, through the pupil it got entered. Pupil. This is light. What happens next? Goes to the convex lens. What happens next? Gets converged to the retina. Now what will be happening on retina? You have cells, photoreceptor cells. You have photoreceptor cells. Why photoreceptor cells? Photo, related to light. It can perceive light. It can accept light. It can receive light. That is why the name is photoreceptor cells. Got it? Now, depending on the light is dim or the light is bright, depending on these two things, you will have two types of cells working for eyes. What are those two types of cells? Rods and cones. C for cone, C for color, right? And color you are able to see during the daytime, right? If I put you in a dark room, and I'm asking you that tell me which color dress I am wearing today. You can imagine today also, right? You can't see me, right? Yes? Yeah. So in the dark room, if I ask you to tell me which color dress I am wearing, you will not be able to distinguish. But as I switch on the light, you will easily identify the color. Ma'am, you are wearing this color dress today, right? So during daytime, C for cone, C for color, and color you can see during daytime. That is why cone is responsible for daytime vision. And rods are responsible for dim light vision. Dim light vision. Right? Yes, you saw me before. That is why you can tell me that I am wearing blue color dress. Yes. Right. Now seeing that, we are going to see what actually happened to rods and cones. We have reached to the retina layer. Right? Light has reached to the retina layer. On the retina, the first layer which is going to come in contact with the light is photoreceptor cells. And we have seen they are rods and cones. Right? Now what happens to rods and cones? Right? They are composed of rhodopsin. Right? Rhodopsin. Rhodopsin. So it has two parts. It has protein part and it has aldehyde part. It has protein part and it has aldehyde part, right? So what happens? Whenever the light falls on it, the protein and aldehyde part gets separated, right? The protein and, yes, Vijayalakshmi, correct. The protein, yes, Shreya, you are also correct. The protein and aldehyde part gets separated. When the protein gets separated, what happens to the membrane of photoreceptor cells? They are cell, no? What happens to the photoreceptor cell membrane? What happens? What will happen? Ions will come. There will be change in the permeability of the membrane. There will be change in the permeability of membrane. And now is the time to convert light energy into which energy? Which energy? Movement of ions will cause which energy? Awesome. Electrical energy. So finally your photoreceptor cells, what do you get? Bipolar cells. Bipolar cells. The impulses will be transmitted to bipolar cells. After that it will go to dendrites will be present here of the next neuron. What is it? ganglionic cells, and then it will come out of the eye through the optic nerve, and then it will be sent to the brain optic area, and you can see the image. Got it? So what all things happened? See, light passing through pupil, through the lens, converges onto the retina. Photoreceptor cells, since they receive light, they get broken down. Because of that, membrane permeability changes, and due to that, what happens? Depolarization happens. Light energy gets converted to electrical energy. Channels, now ions will get channelized. Through bipolar cells, impulses will travel. Then again sodium channel will open on ganglionic cells. Again depolarization of the ganglionic cells, which will go to the optic nerve. It will take it to the visual cortex area of brain, and brain can perceive the image. That is the mechanism of vision. There is any doubt? Is there any doubt, children? Have you all understood? Yeah? Yes, no? You can start answering, raise your hand, start answering so that I get to know. Yes, perfect. All right. Yes, yes. I can see so many hands raising. Yeah. Perfect. Cool. So now we are going to learn about our very own ears, which is helping you now to hear whatever I am saying, right? So whatever I am saying, you are able to hear it now because your ears are working, right? Yes. So now, first we will learn what? Yes, I can see your messages. First we will learn what? The structure, the morphology of ear, and then we will learn the function, mechanism. This diagram, if you see, is similar to NCERT diagram, right? It is actually completely similar to NCERT diagram, right? I have taken that diagram because in the exam, your questions come based on NCERT diagram. That is why always you should prefer seeing NCERT diagram. Okay? Yes? It is just colorful, but it is NCERT diagram. Okay? Now, your ear is divided into how many parts? Quick. How many parts? 3 parts. Perfect. What are they? What are they? Outer ear, middle ear, inner ear. So eyes were also having the same, no? Outer ear, middle ear, inner ear. But for eyes, the names were different. Sclera, corvoid, and retina. Right? Yes? Here in the ears, you have outer, middle, inner. Outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. ठीक है? Cool? Yes? Yeah, so you need to keep doing thumbs up. Okay, you need to keep telling cool so that I can keep seeing you. Yes. Now coming to the outermost structure. All right. What do you get in outermost? You can see from here to here. It is outer structure of the ear. What do you get? Pinna. What do you get? Pinna over here. Yes? Yeah. Yes, send some smileys. See, Veer is sending me few smileys. That makes me smile. Yes. And you also keep smiling. Right? Pinna is there. And apart from pinna, along with pinna, what will be present? External auditory canal. Right? Which can also be called as meatus. Right? External auditory canal or external auditory meatus. Okay? What else? Pinna. What else? Auditory canal. These two structures are part of your outer ear. They are part of your outer ear. Got it? Yes? Only two things are there in outer ear. Pinna, external auditory canal. Now, pinna and external auditory canal. Is there any use of it? Or they are just present, like they are just present as it is, like there is no use of them, or there is any use of them? Yeah, awesome. Veer is answering. Yes, there is use. Vijayalakshmi says. Other students, I want all students answering me now. Random answers you can give. Collect sound waves. Yes, Bhumika. Send sound waves. Have ceruminous glands. Vibrations. Gather sounds. Perfect. Yes. So you all have answered it. Now I need not tell you, right? So pinna helps in collecting all the sound waves from the environment. Can you say it is similar to pupil? Pupil was doing the same thing or not? Pupil was also taking all the light inside. Similarly, pinna is taking all the sound waves inside. All the sound waves inside. Where it takes it to the external auditory canal. Now, pollution has increased too much, right? Thanks to lockdown, that pollution is decreasing day by day. But actually, pollution was so much, right? Few days back before the lockdown. Due to that, you know that in the air you will have so much of dust particles, right? So much of dust particles. We can't have them inside our ears. We cannot have them inside our ears, right? We need to somehow get rid of them. We need to somehow get rid of them, right? And what is that which helps in that? Glands, right? Sebaceous gland. What is the name of that gland? Wax gland. What is other name of that gland? Ceruminous gland. Perfect. This gland is ceruminous gland or wax gland. You all have noticed it, right, in your ears? Sometimes when there is any kind of irritation in your eye, you put your finger inside and something comes out, right? What is that? That is wax. Okay. So your ceruminous gland secretes that wax. Okay. And that helps in trapping the dust particles or any unwanted things. Basically, any unwanted things. Cool. Apart from this, there are hair cells also. Apart from this, there are hair cells also. Which color I should use? Which one you will be able to see? I think blue will be visible. Right? Apart from this, it has hair cells also. Right? So what do you have here? Hair cells and ceruminous gland. Hair cells and ceruminous gland. Any idea how many ceruminous glands are there in one ear? How many ceruminous glands? A round value, lump sum value. Anyone has any idea about it? How many ceruminous glands? No? You want me to tell? Or you want to do it as a homework? 1,000 to 2,000, Ankita says. Yes. So we have around 4,000 ceruminous gland in our ear, right? We have around 4,000 ceruminous gland. Both our ears, we can have 4,000 ceruminous glands. Okay. Now let me just take you to physics. I'll take you to physics now. Ready? Can we go to physics now? Physics? Okay, I'm gonna take you to physics now. See, sound waves. What is sound? First of all, tell me, it is a wave or not? Sound is a wave, right? And what is a wave? Tell me class 10th definition of wave. You learned it in class 10th, no? What is wave? It's an energy. Good, very good. It's a disturbance, right? It's a disturbance. What else do you know about it? It's a disturbance, right? What else do you know? It's the disturbance in the environment, right? It's the disturbance in the medium. It's the disturbance in the medium, right? So I say that wave is like this. Any disturbance in the medium has what? Has crest and trough. You know that? Crest and trough? Yes? You have learnt it, right? Crest and trough. Now can you tell me that, have you heard of these terms? How do you get waves? The wave is due to two phenomena. There are two phenomena which leads to wave. What is that? One is compression and second is rarefaction. Right? These are the two ways by which there is wave generation in the medium. Okay. Whenever there is compression, if video was working, I would have showed you like how, like compression, you know, right? This is compression, right? Something getting compressed and then something getting relaxed, right? Something getting compressed, something getting relaxed. All these sine and cos and sine happening in our environment, right? So this compression and rarefaction. Yes? You play with the spring, no? The spring is the best example. Or let's say you have a rope. Okay, straight rope is there. Now this rope, you start to shake this rope, okay, very fast. You start to shake this rope very fast. What will happen? You will realize after some time that you are not able to see the rope. You will not be able to see the rope. What will you be able to see? Something like this you will be able to see. Right? If you have not done it, try doing it. Do it very, very fast. Do it very, very fast. You will observe it as wave. You will not observe it as straight line. Okay. So what did we create? We created the disturbance in the medium. And that disturbance due to compression and rarefaction gives you a wave. Got it? So this wave, compression and rarefaction is the game of, it is a game of pressure. It's the game of pressure. With how much pressure things are happening. Compression, rarefaction. So that is going to create the disturbance and wave. Now tell me, can I now call sound as, right? Can I call it as pressure wave? Yes? Yeah, I can call it as pressure wave. I hope you have learned a bit of physics. When you learn waves and oscillations in physics, you will be getting much more idea about it. See, I always tell you that physics is related to biology. To understand biology, you need to know physics. That is why you might be thinking, no, why physics is there? Because of physics only we are not scoring in the exam. But physics is very important to succeed properly. Physics is very important to understand the concepts of biology. That is why physics you need to know. Okay. So with that, we have completed outer ear, pinna and external auditory canal, having hair cells and some 4,000 ceruminous glands. Right? Yes. Yeah, Meghna is saying, Meghna felt so bad that chemistry is also important. Yes, chemistry is also important. Biomolecules and all, there you need to learn chemistry. Yes. So can we go back? No. Can we go ahead to middle ear now? Yes. Middle ear? Yeah. So middle ear is present in a cavity. Can you all see that? Middle ear is present in a cavity. What is that cavity called as? Tympanic cavity. Awesome. You all are answering it. Perfect. It is called as what? Tympanic cavity. Yes. All right. Yes. So here you have tympanic cavity. So sometimes if I laugh, no, you should understand that I am not mad. I see some chat. Okay. So seeing that I laugh. Yeah. So in the cavity, you get middle ear. In the cavity, you get middle ear. And the cavity is called as tympanic cavity. Now, pressure wave is coming. Pressure wave is coming. It is approaching towards the tympanic cavity. It is approaching towards the tympanic cavity. It cannot allow it. It cannot allow it. It cannot be open always. There should be some barrier to stop it. And what is that? What is that? To separate your tympanic cavity and external ear. What is the cavity? What is the membrane there? Tympanic membrane. Can you see this tympanic membrane here? It is connecting. It is actually connecting your external ear and middle ear. It is connecting your external ear and middle ear. Right? That is why tympanic membrane is made up of which tissue? It is connecting, no? Tell me which tissue? Its work is to connect. So which tissue should be there? Epithelial, muscular, nervous? Yes, it should be what? It should be what? I need some more answers. Yes, it should be connective tissue. Yes. It should be connective tissue. Right? So tympanic membrane is a connective tissue which connects the external ear to the tympanic cavity. Now, what do you have in the tympanic cavity? You have middle ear. We have been learning about this, right? Miss. Yes, Vijay? He keeps saying miss. Yeah, Vijay is here. So, miss, what is it? Malleus, incus and stapes, right? Malleus, incus and stapes. That is your middle ear. Malleus, incus and stapes. Got it? Yes? Malleus. Shape of malleus is like a hammer. I'll just try drawing it. Very bad in drawing, but still I'll try. There is nothing wrong in trying, right? I forgot how does a hammer look. I don't know how it looks. Something like this. Yeah. So malleus looks like what? Hammer. Incus looks like what? Anvil, like a nail. It looks like a anvil. And stapes look like what? Stapes look like stirrup. What is stirrup? When you do horse riding. How many of you have tried horse riding? Anyone who has tried horse riding? I know one student, Prajwal. I don't know he's here or not. Prajwal knows horse riding. Veer knows. Anyone else? Students from Mangalore, students from Raichur, Belgaum. Anyone knows horse riding or has tried horse riding? So when you do horse riding, have you observed there is a paddle-like structure? There is a paddle-like structure into which you need to keep your feet first, right? You need to keep your leg here and then you jump over and then you can sit on the horse, right? So this kind of shape is your stirrup shape, okay? So that is the shape of, you can see, no, it is resembling. Yes, I have drawn it successfully. So this is your stirrup shape, okay? So hammer shape, malleus, incus shape is what? Anvil. Stapes shape is what? Stirrup. All right, miss. Malleus, incus, stapes. Now you require a connectivity to the inner ear. We have discussed the parts of middle ear. You require now inner ear connectivity. So stapes is the last part. Stapes is the last part of middle ear, right? So from stapes only it will have connection, right? Because last part of middle ear is stapes. So stapes is connected to the inner ear. Cool. Now stapes is connected to the inner ear by a window. There is a window. And what is that window? Oval window. Now I'm going to ask you one question. Ready to answer? Ready to answer? Tell me, what is the other name for oval window? Other name for oval window. Anyone knows? Anyone knows the other name of oval window? I have got the answer. Who has answered it first? Meghna has answered it first. Yes, Fenestra. Bhumika also has answered. Fenestra ovalis. Oval window. Fenestra ovalis. Fenestra ovalis. Oval window. Right? Yes. So fenestra ovalis is the other name for oval window, where your stapes will open into the inner ear. Got it? So we have discussed outer ear and middle ear. We have discussed outer ear and middle ear. Got it? Yes? All of you at once, tell me. Got it? Yes. Perfect. Yeah. Yes. So Meghna is helping me out here with other name, Fenestra rotundum. Anyone knows what is Fenestra rotundum? Anyone knows what is Fenestra rotundum? It's a round window. What is it? It's a round window. Yes. Fenestra rotundum. So here can you see? Round window is here. Yes. So inner ear connectivity. Inner ear connectivity. Two windows are there. Oval window and round window. To the oval window, stapes open. To the round window, eustachian tube open. Can you see here? Your middle ear is connected to the eustachian tube through a window called as what? Round window. What is the other name for it? Fenestra rotundum. Yeah, you can call it as fenestra cochlea also, Ankita. Yes. Round window. Since present in cochlea, fenestra rotundum. Okay. So middle ear is connected to your inner ear through the stapes, through oval window. Middle ear is also connected to your nasopharynx. Middle ear is also connected to your nasopharynx. Now you will ask, what is nasopharynx? Naso, nose. Pharynx, your food pipe, right? Opening of the food pipe. Common passage. Basically, it is common passage for food and air. So nose opening as well as pharynx. The common passage of food and air. Your middle ear is connected to the pharynx. Basically, you can learn that your middle ear is connected to your pharynx by eustachian tube. What is the function of eustachian tube? To equalize the pressure. Okay. Let's say you have here, your throat is present over here. Okay. And your ear is present over here. Air is coming in. Air has reached to the middle ear. Now let's say if more air is there, more air pressure is there, what will happen? More air pressure will be sent to the pharynx part through the eustachian tube, and you can exhale it out, right? Also, second thing, what it can do, let's say mucus has developed here. What has developed? Mucus has developed here. Can we afford to have mucus over here? Can we have mucus in the middle ear cavity? No, right? So the mucus can also be sent to the throat, your pharynx, and you can spit it out, right? You can spit it out, right? Yes? So this is how is the role of eustachian tube. So middle ear is connected to the nasopharynx with the help of eustachian tube, right? Yes. And this eustachian tube is present at the opening of the round window. This round window is present at your cochlea part. Okay? Got it? All of you? External ear, middle ear. Middle ear, what it consists of? Stapes open through which window? Then middle ear connects to the nasopharynx through what? And what is the role? Yes, Vijayalakshmi is also saying, yes, miss. Okay. So that is your external and middle ear. What is remaining is inner ear. That we are going to see. But before we see that, I want you all to just go through the summary. What we learned today? Very easy topic, right? What we learned? Eyes. Two things we learned: structure, parts, and function. And what is the function of eye? To see. So we learned the mechanism, right? We learned the mechanism. Second sensory organ, we learned about ears, right? So only two things we learned about it. External ear, we were discussing about the parts. We learned external ear and we learned middle ear. All right? Yes, we have to discuss inner ear, right? And we need to discuss the function, and the function is hearing. So we will be learning the mechanism of hearing, right? We know that ear help us in hearing as well as it helps in balancing. It also helps in balancing. It gives you equilibrium posture and all these things, right? So that is also done by ear. So that also we are going to learn. Now, there is one organ we learned in the brain part, which was controlling our equilibrium posture. What was that organ? Starting with the letter C, ending with the letter M. Cerebellum. Awesome. I see always Meghna answering it first. Someone beat her. Someone should beat her. And after that, Veer has answered. Yes. Okay. So you have cerebellum. And I had told you that time only that along with cerebellum, your ear also helps in balancing the body. Now there are two things in balancing. Let's say when you dance, it is which kind of balancing? Static or dynamic? It is which kind of balancing? Dynamic or static? Dynamic, right? You need to keep moving. Dynamic balancing. Or when you walk, right? When you walk, run, when you dance, all these are what? Dynamic. Now let's say you are standing. You are standing and you are just moving your head to the right and left. You are just moving your head to the right and left. So which kind of movement it is? Static. Your homework is, take down the homework to find out what is that which gives us static equilibrium and what is that which gives us dynamic equilibrium. This is the homework. You need to find out what gives us static equilibrium and what gives us dynamic equilibrium. Cool? Be very, very specific. Purvam, I know that cochlea helps in that. You need to be very specific. I want the specific answer. Can I expect that you all will do it? Yes? Yeah? Perfect. Yes. So tomorrow we are going to learn these things only and only when you finish the homework which I gave you just now. Yes? Yeah. Yeah, I am already getting the answers. You are so fast. I like it. Yes. Okay. So this is all about today's class. Tomorrow we will be learning this and we will be taking all your doubts. Yesterday also we had one doubt session and tomorrow also after finishing the topic, Rashmi ma'am will be there. She'll be clearing all your doubts. I will also be there to help you out. All right? Yes? Did you all understand? Yeah? Let me just go through this. Polling. I just enjoy it a lot. I'm not going to see any of the answers today, okay? I have seen all the answers. You are giving me all answers now only. It is a homework. I am getting it now only. Can you see this on your screen? There is any poll on your screen? No? Yes? Yes, so start polling if you can see. If you can see, you can start polling, right? But I can't see it. No polling, right? Let me end it and then again start it. Can you see it? Acha, Veer is saying that he is already in home. That is why he is answering. That is why, no? Okay, got it, got it. Homework. So you already did the work. All right. So let's make it classwork then. Classwork. You need to go to a class and that class is your online live class, right? You need to come back here tomorrow and then you need to answer. Yes? Yeah, okay. I think there is something wrong. Some technical issues are there. So let us just not bother about it. Yes? Yeah, okay. So we'll meet tomorrow then. Bye-bye. See you. Take care.